Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is being mocked for her efforts to try to sink aid to Ukraine. The New York Post, very conservative, made this image of the conspiracy spewing Congresswoman and posted it on the front page. Oh boy. Damn. The Post cover story said House Speaker Mike Johnson had crushed a putsch by Greene and other GOP rebels to nix the flow of funds to assist Ukraine amid Russia's invasion. So, look, Greene has been against Ukraine aid. I think there are some legitimate reasons to be, critical of it, right? Criticize sending a ton of money and weapons abroad. Not saying that I agree with her. I'm just saying there are some legitimate reasons. Prolonging conflict that will cost many lives on both sides instead of trying to push for, a peace that both sides could accept. Another concern is the United States being involved in a forever war. Like I said, there's some legitimate concerns, right? That said, also legitimate concern is Russia not stopping if they end up winning in Ukraine. So, that could mean that we end up getting drawn into a conflict with Russia at a later time. That's not good, right? And so, yeah, at this point, I really can't think of any other better options than continuing to, send them aid for weapons and stopping the Russian advance, other than, of course, diplomacy. That said, Marjorie Greene doesn't support Ukraine for different reasons. She basically wants to redirect all the money going to helping Ukraine fight off the Russian government to militarizing the southern border. So that's what she wants. She wants to militarize the southern border so that we can use Jewish space lasers against migrants. I kid you not. I did that story already.
Jewish space lasers
against migrants. So it's like, why aren't we funding that? Well, for one, it's inhumane because you're murdering people. Secondly, the technology doesn't actually exist. There are no space lasers, specifically Jewish space lasers, which is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. Anyway, so she has also claimed, without evidence, by the way, that Ukraine aid money did not go to Ukraine after all. It actually went to now imprisoned FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried so that he could donate it to Democrats. campaign contributions. What? None of it makes any sense. It's all conspiracy theories. That said, Marjorie Greene, as a result of her opposition and her stalling on the Ukraine aid package, she has become quite popular in Russia with Russian state TV. Who would have guessed? Interesting. Now, it's not just a Post. You also had former Representative Ken Buck from Colorado, who would call her Moscow Marjorie, saying that she is now that she is now focused on this Ukraine issue because she gets her talking points from the Kremlin, and it helps make sure that she gets popular and gets lots of coverage. Popular with whom? Now, in that, here's the thing. I think a majority of Americans still support aid for Ukraine, especially when it comes to helping them regain some of their lost territory. And look, you even have Republicans that are supporting Ukraine, less of them, obviously, but evangelicals are pretty big in supporting Ukraine because Russia has been cracking down on evangelical Christians and anyone who is not part of the Russian Orthodox Church, which is very nationalist, which is in alliance with Putin, and actually has not condemned the invasion to Ukraine. In fact, actually supports it. In fact, you had a letter, a group of pastors sending a letter to Mike Johnson that urged him to pass Ukraine aid, and that's what he did. He passed aid to Ukraine. He actually had previously voted against aiding Ukraine, and then after becoming speaker and getting these intelligence briefings and getting all of this, all this attention on this issue and all this pressure to fund the defense of Ukraine from evangelicals specifically, he's like, okay, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. I'm going to defy people like Marjorie Greene, who is now out there threatening Mike Johnson's job. So, look, here's the thing. Evangelicals make up a huge core constituency in the Republican Party. They helped Donald Trump win the election. And where evangelicals go, politicians like Greene and Johnson should follow. I mean, because that again is their core group. That's why a lot of evangelicals are not happy with Marjorie Greene. They're like, "What are you doing? You're ignoring, the repression that evangelical Christians in Ukraine are going through right now. They are being targeted. They are being harassed. Some are being killed, imprisoned, etc." And they're like, "Marge, don't you care?" Well, I got news for you. Marge doesn't care about anybody but herself. That's the thing. She claims to be like this, oh my God, what a Christian I am. I am a Christian. I'm a Christian nationalist, evangelical, all this stuff. Turns out, no, she's a narcissist. She only cares about herself. She only cares about her power. And right now, there are still enough Republicans in the party that are siding with her, saying no money to Ukraine unless of course, you're able to get a massive amount of border spending. And so that's what she wants. She wants to be racist and wants to be pro-Russian in this case. I don't know why. And she is willing to go against evangelical Christians in order to do it, in order to raise her own profile. And so, hey, we'll see what happens. But this is a real division in the party. And just because Greene lost this time does not mean it's going to get any better. Doesn't mean she's going to learn her lesson. In fact, she's going to continue to try to make Mike Johnson's life a living hell.